Hello, it's Whiskey Wednesday. How's everybody today? Got to turn my light on. How's everyone today? We got to figure out how to change those stars. I never think about it until I go live and I see them. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's not Christmas anymore. That's from 2 years ago, I think even. Like, it's really not that Christmas. How's everyone tonight? It's Whiskey Wednesday, DIY. Wilson made me a drink after supper, and that is almost gone. Hey, Natalie, Sparks of Joy Studio. Happy Wednesday to you. So I have a tote. And from the picture that I sent.
Sheila said hi.
Oh, Sheila says hi. Hi there, Sheila. We also have Dina from YouTube. Yoo-hoo, Whiskey Wednesday. Yeah, woohoo! Anna from YouTube says hello, first time watching. Welcome, welcome, Anna. Then we have Bumblebee Corner says hello, DIY. DIY. And Sparks of Joy says, yay, love totes. Me too. I absolutely love totes. It looks like Backyard Brushes says excited for a DIY with Connie. Thank you, Sylvia. Rust to Roses. Hey, Marla. Hello. Hello, hello. Oh, that was a Facebook one. Sorry, Wilson. And Natalie says, hi, Anna, and hi, Lisa. Sparks of Joy is just sending out the love. And Sparks of Joy says, hi, Sylvia. So we're going to paint this tote tonight. If you've seen the picture before, it had this, I should have, do you want to grab that handle, Wilson, please? It had an ugly old handle on it. And it also had these really heavily painted pansies on it. And some heavily crackle finish that was fake. Like, that's not real crackle. I don't know how they did that back in the day. Maybe it is real crackle. It could be real crackle that they did back in the day, but it's not pretty. So here was this handle. So look at that. Imagine that handle being on there like that. It was not cute. So when Wilson got home from work, I said, take this handle off. Well, actually, I took it off, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, I took it off. And I told Wilson, can you take one of my spindles and make a different handle for it? So he actually made me a different handle that is much better than this. I don't even know what to do with this.
Burn it.
Burn it. Trash to treasure. Hey, Sandy. Welcome, welcome.
Sheila says probably the glue method.
Oh, it could be that. It could be the glue method.
Mary Brinker, happy Whiskey Wednesday. DIY. Cheers.
Excellent. Hey, Mary. So it looks like Brenda is on here from YouTube. Hello, kiddos. This is exciting. I am in love with your projects. Thank you, Brenda. That is really good to know. I really appreciate it. And Booth 17 April said, hey, girls, DIY. So there's a couple DIYs. So DIY. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Then it looks like we have a couple that Wilson read already. And then the new handle is way better. I agree. It is. Now we just need to do something here. But this handle is a really good cover. color. The handle here
No, on the side.
on the side. Wilson wants the handle here. No. No. So we're gonna grunge this up. I have some big plans, guys. Big plans. I really like this color, so I'm gonna try and stick with it. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we're gonna try. So I'm gonna turn on my other camera. There we go. So I got to go down on this one. Yeah. It went the other way. I got to turn this light down a little bit. Okay. I think we're good on lighting. I have a light up here and I have a light over there as well. So we'll see how this works. It might be a little tall for me. I need a stool to see it. But we're going to DIY this tonight in case anybody's having a Whiskey Wednesday with me, because I think this one's almost gone. I'm going to put Wilson to work.
I'll take them.
Wilson will have, thank you. He's going to make me a drink right now while we get started on this. So the first thing that I want to do is cover up all of this crackle that I don't like and some of this pansy. So what I did first was I sanded this down. When you have someone who, I believe this is called toll painting, when you have someone who did some toll painting on here, the paint is really thick and it's going to leave a ridge. So you have to make sure that you take, I used 80 grit sandpaper and I sanded it down so I can't feel any of those pansies. You don't want to be able to feel it because it'll come through. So the first thing that I want to do is cover that all up. So we're going to cover it up with weathered wood. I already put the inside is already weathered wood. And so we're just going to continue on the outside with some weathered wood because that's the first base color is the weathered wood to get rid of that yucky old pansy look there. And you don't need to have a really thick coat of it. Weathered wood covers up really easily. And then we're going to cover up this bluish color, whatever's right here as well. And I got some on my handle. I don't want that. That's all we're doing is we're just all of this up with weathered wood. And then we're going to get to grunging it. But first, the first thing we have to do is get rid of it. I don't want to see that yucky color ever again. So this side had a pansy on it as well. And I sanded that down with 80 grit. I can't get my camera to go any higher, so I could if I put it on a block of wood or something. It's already sitting on, I don't know what it's sitting on. I can't remember what I used to move it up. A wooden bowl. And then when I was thrifting in Nashville, I found a cast iron pot that's old and rusty and crusty. And I brought it home and it actually fits the stand of my tripod. And my tripod hasn't tipped over since. Like my tripod was always a little on the wobbly side. And now it's sitting in this old rusty, crusty cast iron pan. And now it's not tipped over at all. So we're just covering all of this up. I will paint the bottom. I just won't do it tonight on here, but I will paint it with just weathered wood. I love weathered wood. I could go through a gazillion of these containers of weathered wood. It's my favorite go-to. I got weathered wood all over my computer. Oh, how'd I get it home from Nashville? Sonnet and we bought a suitcase. Well, Sonnet bought the vintage suitcase, and then we paid for the suitcase to be checked. Yeah. And then I tried to bring home that cast iron pot. I have weathered wood on my mouse, so hopefully I don't screw anything up. I tried to get that cast iron pot, and it's like this big. It's like 9-10 inches around and probably 4 inches deep, and it's cast iron. So I tried to get that home in my carry-on luggage because my carry-on luggage has wheels. And so I thought, oh, that's going to be easier to carry or to roll than if we put it in that vintage suitcase. Plus, we didn't have room in our vintage suitcase for anything else. So I put that in my carry-on, got all the way through security, and it ran through the security, and they said, my luggage got checked twice, and then it finally got inspected, and she said, you can't bring this through here. It's a pot. And she said, you have to go back and check your bag. So I had to go back out and check my luggage, and they wouldn't let me through security. And then when I was coming back through security, I was standing behind these two people. And of course, I talked to everybody, even though I don't know them. And they said something about security was not quite so busy. And I said, oh, it was just busy a little bit ago. And this is in Nashville. I said, it was busy a little bit ago, but it's gotten better. And they said, why? Did you forget something in your car? And then I said, no, I had a cast iron pot and I had to go back and check my bag. They said the same thing happened to them the last time they came to Nashville. They bought a cast iron pan, and it was a small one. And as a free gift, they gave them a large cast iron pan. So they put it in their luggage, and it was free. So they had bought the small one. They got a large one for free, and security said, no, not going through. So they left it. They said it was free anyway, so they left it. April says she has red wine and a tote ready. Excellent. Gert says, hello, Connie and Wilson. Hello, Gert. Welcome, welcome. Yes, everybody tells me now is they probably thought it was a weapon.
But by the time you got that out to hit somebody, they'd see it coming.
Yeah. I mean, how would I? It was so buried in all of my clothes in my suitcase, and our flight was only an hour and 10 minutes long. I'd have never got it out of my suitcase in time to hit somebody. Lynn says, hey, all. CNC DIY Factory says, hello, and DIY. I was watching on my TV and couldn't comment. Well, I'm glad you're not on your TV anymore. That's kind of big. DIY, Cindy.
Lisa Stevens, so did you get to bring the pot home? Yes.
Yes, I brought the pot home. I had to go back and check my bag. So I checked my bag. Then I felt like I was naked, like I was forgetting something. I didn't have a bag. But it worked out in the end because when we got to Chicago, remember we were a day late. When we got to Chicago, we had 12 minutes to get to our next gate. And they were already loading, and before they were going to shut the doors, we had 12 minutes. And thank God they were right there, right We were in the same terminal, so we just had a couple gates down. So it was a good thing we didn't have luggage because that would have been a haul. Thank you, Lisa. So Jennifer says, hello, Jennifer. Welcome. And so Lisa sprinkled, excellent. Wilson gets my Facebook comments, so I just like to show them on the screen. All right. So we're kind of drying right now, and I want this coat to be thoroughly dried. I thought my yakking would dry it, but I guess not. So we're gonna heat gun this. Probably can't say that. They're gonna stop me in security.
Yeah, so it takes more than an hour and 15 minutes to get start heat.
Oh.
Donald to DIY Connie Wilson.
Excellent. We're gonna dry this DIY Donna. I want this first coat dried, and then we don't care if anything else dries because we're gonna grunge this thing up. We have Old 57. We have Mint Chip, Walk on Water, Sandy Blonde. We have Royce's Apothecary Stencil. We have the Cubana Stamp, which is on sale for 25% off. And we have the Crackle Stamp and the Distress Stamp. So we have lots of elements that we're going to use to distress them. I don't know if we're going to use them all. We're going to see how it goes. Oh, and I'm using my IOD paint wedge. Forget what they call this. Someone help me out. Blade, paint blade. I helped myself. The IOD paint blade. So we're going to use that tonight to make a distress look. So there we go. We have a dried weathered wood. I might need that color again. So what I do is I take my brush and I wrap it up in a baby wipe in case I need to use that color again. Most of the time I put it in a plastic bag. Like there's the old baby wipe. So this one is Big Top that I have in here, and this one was the weathered wood. So I stick them into a plastic bag, and then since they're in the baby wipe, the plastic bag doesn't get dirty, and you can just keep using it over and over again. In case you want any of those tips. You might not want any of those tips, but you just got them. Okay, the first color I think we're going to go with it is so blonde, a yellowish tan, and we're going to put that on first, and then we're going to kind of smooth it around with the paint blade. We're gonna make the distressed look with this paint blade. So here's the Sandy Blonde. So I'm gonna stick some on there. And there's gonna be so many layers on here tonight. You guys are just gonna freak. So now I'm misting it with a little bit of water. And then I'm going to take the paint blade and move it around. What space am I in tonight? My usual space. I'm in my garage. Does it look different, Amanda? Oh, I turned my light down a little bit. So this is Sandy Blonde. Do you know what I did with Sandy Blonde with my very first paint, my DIY paint order? Hey, that worked out. I was opening up my very first paint order when I became a DIY retailer. This is not good. Oh, I was trying it to be a little bit different, yes. But I was opening up all my packages and I dropped it on the concrete floor and busted it everywhere. So I had to use Sandy Blonde was my very first color I had to use because I broke it. I was in love with old 57, but I didn't drop that.
Yeah. Bobby says DIY, Connie and Wilson.
Hey, Bobby, DIY.
Make a break, Bobby.
Okay, so all we're doing is just pushing that Sandy Blonde into the weathered wood. And you can see it's kind of dragging up in some places. And like right here, I'm even seeing some of that background. I'm okay with that. But look at how weathered that looks. And then I get Sandy Blonde all over my hand. We're going to do that one more time. We'll do it on this side. Okay. Sandy Blonde onto the dried weathered wood. It's okay with wherever you put it. And then you're going to mist it with a little bit of water. And then you're going to take your paint blade and start smushing it around. Like you're going to get a lot of paint on your paint blade. I think I have 2 of these left on my website. So if you don't have one of these and you're thinking you want one for this distressed look, you better grab it along with the Cubana stamp that we're going to use tonight too. That is 25% off. The paint blade is not. The paint blade is not retired. I have family that's in the midst of a tornado area in southern Illinois, so they're texting, but I'm sure they'll tell me if something is too terrible. Not that I can help them. All right, so like you're gonna squish this paint and then you're gonna push it down somewhere else. And just keep moving it around. And it'll dry. Like we put this on its face, the other side, because it's already dry, because we smushed that paint all over in there. Okay, we got to catch up on some comments. Donna says, I don't know if Wilson read some of these, but DIY Connie and Wilson, DIY right back at you. I haven't used the paint blade. Can't wait to see how you use it. Well, I hope you like it. And Gert says, great tip, DIY. There's a couple DIYs, so DIY, Gert. Yeah, she said they do have a basement, so they'll be in their basement. That was Amanda. Cindy said, love this technique. You have to try it. You've never used Sandy Blonde? Well, I was forced to use it, and I really do like Sandy Blonde. It is a very, very pretty color. I'm just going through some of them that Wilson already read. Yep. Oh, Bobby said DIY. Wilson's afraid that I missed it. Bobby said DIY, Connie and Wilson.
They're okay. It's heading our way here in Ohio.
Oh. Sandra said, Cindy, it's a great color. It really is a good color. Sheila says, do you have the paint blades in stock? I do. I do have them in stock. So head on over to thepaintedphotographer.com and do a search for paint blades and they'll show right up. There are 2. That's all I have is 2. Lisa said, hello, that girl. It must be from Kevin. Hello, Kevin. Do you have the larger paint blade? Yes. So the paint blades come in a set. So this small one goes right here. And then you do have the larger one if you want to like do this technique on furniture. So good idea, Wilson. You're so smart.
So you can see it over there.
So there's these, they're like flexible. And really what the great thing is no washing your brush. You just take a baby wipe or a wet cloth, or you could run it under your sink if you want, and it's clean. No bristles to clean out. So it is really good. Amanda says, I haven't tried the paint blade. It looks nice. Thank you, Amanda. Cindy said, Sandra, I have to get it now, DIY. You do have to get it. I know where you can get it. Thepaintedphotographer.com. And Wendy Hill Design says, so cute, so cool. I need one ASAP. Thepaintedphotographer.com. Go grab yours. Sheila said, I hope the weather through their nuts. That's what they keep saying. My phone is blowing up. I should probably have Wilson check it. Oh no, I hope they're okay. It's heading our way to Ohio. Prayers for your family. Thank you, Gert. It's a pretty cool technique. I will be buying this blade. Excellent. When are you getting it, Bobby? When are you getting that weather, Bobby? Is it coming now? Sheila says, love Sandy Blonde. Bobby says between 1 and 4 a.m. Oh, that's a bad time. The bad weather just passed south of us, says Clara. And Sheila says, Bobby, hope you're safe and you get some sleep. Yeah, that's the bad time to be coming through at night. And Shannon Booth says, the paint blades are awesome. You have to try them. They really are. And Cindy says, I might have to try this technique tomorrow. I'll be painting items all day. Perfect. And Bobby says, thanks. Okay, we're not done though. We got to do this side. Hopefully you can see some of this side. I can't go up any higher, but you can see a little bit of it. So we're going to put this Sandy Blonde on here. And like I said, it doesn't matter how much you put on, where you put it on, because we're going to mist it a little bit. And then we're going to take this paint blade and then we're going to smush it around. Silicone? Yeah, they're like a, yes, they're a pack of 2 silicone paint blades. So yes, they are silicone. All right, so this one got a little bit, I sprayed it first, so it got a little bit watery. So if you get it too watery, just keep working it. Keep smushing it around. Smush, smush, smush until that paint dries up. And since it's DIY paint, it'll dry up pretty quickly, especially if you keep moving it. And then if you grab some paint and it's on your paint blade like this, push it somewhere else. That is a really cool technique I like to do, is just push it, pull it off and push it from onto a different spot. It gives it a really good distressed look. I know I'll probably have drips over there, Wilson, but we'll fix those off camera.
You can fix anything.
I can fix anything. All right, we're going to do the other side. See, Wilson's worried about those drips over there. I'll get those when we're off camera. Okay, we're not going to miss this side this time. Oh, we might get drips, but it's okay. Okay, again, doesn't matter where it is. Missed it a little bit. And the only reason I'm misting it is because it just flows easier. You don't have to mist it. And it'll dry up a little bit sooner and be a little bit thicker. We'll probably try that technique with the old 57 because my old 57 is really thick. Wilson, we better look at my comments. Wilson's going to read my text message from my family. Make sure everyone is okay. He's not going to read them out loud. He's just going to make sure. All right. This one's taking a little bit longer. I must have put the paint on a little thicker, which is fine. We might have to just do one side, but I wanted to show you. Pull it up. They got yucky stuff going. She lives in Mount Vernon, Illinois, so almost in Kentucky. Oh, they're in the basement. Oh, my niece, their daughter is heading to their house. She doesn't have a basement, so she's going for cover. I hope everyone stays safe during that whole thing. Those storms are so crazy. Okay. We're going to probably concentrate on this one side because that's a big tote. And it's kind of hard to see. So we're going to do this one side and then I'll finish the rest up when I'm not on the live. So the first thing we did was Sandy Blonde. And now I want the weathered wood to be up here on the top. So we're going to take some weathered wood, which that's already our base, and I'm going to smear it on the top up here. And then I'm going to take my paint blade and I'm going to smush it in. And I'm going to mist it. So now you can see how it got so much darker up there. And that took on a little bit of texture look to it. So I don't like that right there. So I'm going to mist it again. And I'm going to add a little bit more weathered wood. And then I'm going to smush. Is that a good smush? Oh, now I smushed it all over. Let's mist that. You can't go wrong. If you get it on there, it's just DIY paint. So you're going to be able to blend it in. All right, look at that. Look at that look, sandy blonde and weathered wood for the win. All right, so I'm cleaning off my paint blade. This is all you do. No washing them in the sink. You can if you want, but I don't ever clean it. DIY paint for the win. All right. So I got that look that I want. Now we're going to do some layers. I'll look at some comments because that's got to dry just a tiny bit. So Are the blades silicone? Yep, we answered that. Sheila. Gert said, all stay safe, please. Yes, Gert, I agree with you. Stephanie said, hi, I'm new here. Love watching your channel. Thank you, Stephanie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a live. This is Wednesday Night Live, so I'm glad you caught me live. And so Gert says, welcome, Stephanie. Thank you, Gert, so much. And Patricia said, hello. Hello, Patricia. Dina said, hi, Stephanie, as well. Sherry said, hi, Connie, glad to be here. I'm glad you're here too. And Gert has some praying hands. Excellent, guys. Okay, so remember this handle that we have. We want to kind of get that color down here. So I have some old mint chip, not old 57, mint chip that we're going to use with a little walk. Where is my camera? With a little walk on water. So all I'm doing is I'm putting a little mint chip on here. And a little walk on water. Remember, I like the top the way it is. I think I might need another little mint chip. And then paint blade again. So I'm going to pull that off and I'm going to smush it down somewhere else. So I'm going to pull it off and smush. So to pull it off, you can send this way and this way. To pull it off, you push it. And look how it pulls that off. See, I got this big glob of paint here. Then you just push it on somewhere else. As it starts to dry, I'm pulling it off. As it starts to dry, it's going to go on and it's going to be a little on the chunky side, which that is really, really good when it gets chunky. So we're still not really matching that. We're too blue. So old 57 to the rescue. I don't know if we will match the handle, but we're certainly going to try. So my old 57 is a little thick, but it's okay because I don't mind the thick paint right now. Okay, there's old 57. And we're going to smush that around in there and pull it off. See how we pulled that off and then smush it again.
Sheila says smashing. Is it a technical term?
Smashing.
Smashing.
Smashing. We're getting closer to that handle. I don't know if we'll match it completely, but it's okay if we don't. We might end up painting the handle in old 57. We lost some of our weathered wood, but guess what? All we're going to do is put it back on. I'm going to put that weathered wood back on. I'm going to mist it a little bit. And grunge that up. There we go. What do you think? Is it looking good, guys? All right, I'm cleaning off my paint blade. Now I have a stencil I want to use. So we're gonna grab my stencil and my old 57. Look at how thick that is. My old 57 is quite old. but that's a little wet, but I'm okay. We're gonna put it, are we gonna put it right in the center? It actually kind of fits. So we're gonna stick this in the center. I'm gonna take my paint spatula thing, and I'm gonna take my old 57 and smush out the stencil. And I'm okay if the whole thing doesn't cover because we're gonna kind of smush it off anyway. Yes. Colors in the paint blade, those colors will blend it really, really well. The paint blade just, I don't know, it's especially if you just missed it. If they're not blending well, then just take a little mister bottle and mist it. It's on my website. Imagine that. It's on my website. All right, I'm going to pull it off. And look at that. Is it backwards for you, Wilson? Oh.
Nope.
Like it took some of that paint off and it's apothecary.
Yep.
Okay. So it took some of that paint off and it really got a good chippy look to it. The stencil, because the paint was wet, the stencil, when I pulled it off, it took it off. And now we're going to give it a dry while we look at some comments.
Bobby says, I think they do. I didn't.
Oh. So Dina on YouTube says, I like that walk on water. It is a very, very good color. Smush is the technical term. It certainly is with me. Dina says it looks really good. Thank you. Sherry said that looks amazing. Stephanie says beautiful. Bumblebee Corner says it looks so good. I think you need a DIY. You're working hard. You're right. DIY. Sheila says, do the cottage colors blend well? They do. Cottage colors blend pretty good. Gert says, looks great. Barbara says, I need that stencil. It's on my website at the Painted Photographer. Connie, you're such a good teacher explaining everything as you go. The paint blade technique is great. Gonna have to try it. Yeah. If you have that paint blade, get it out. You know what? Mine sat in a drawer for way too long. Way too long. No.
I would like to have it. I would like it to have it.
Oh, okay. I think they do. I did my kitchen table and chairs in it, said Bobby. Must be the cottage colors. Is the Royce crockery stencil retired? Would like it, but haven't found it. DIY. Sandy, DIY. No. Okay. I think I can go. Can I go off of here? We're gonna try it. Oh, nope, I can't. Oh, you need to. You need to get it out and use it. Okay, so because that paint was so thick, the stencil is now raised. Okay. I wanted it to be very distressy. like. So I didn't need all of the letters to be perfect. And I'm actually trying to rub some off. If any comes off, that's going to make it even better. And if any of the words are smushed or letters are smushed, I'm okay with that too. Sandy, just go under stencils on my website. You should be able to find it. Apothecary, unless I am out.
Crackery.
The Royce Crackery. Oh, the Crockery stencil. I shouldn't be out of that one either, I don't think. I don't think it's, I know it's not retired. Royce doesn't have any stencils that are retired. But I thought I had one. Maybe I don't. What paint did you do the stencil with? I did the stencil with, look at that, old 57 DIY paint. And look at how chunky and gross this paint is. Like, look at how disgusting it is in there. It is, I'll show you. It looks like this. Look at this paint. That, it's on the verge of becoming unusable paint, but I just mixed some water in there and then I stirred it up until I got this thick mixture, and now it works perfectly with a stencil, a raised stencil. So don't throw your paint away. Just mix it with some water. DIY paint, that is. DIY paint. Mix it with some water and make it thicker again. Or thinner, whichever. So that's what paint I use for the stencil. And I've never used my silicone blade. You should probably get that out. I want the stencil in the old 57 paint. Old 57 has been my favorite color since I first started using DIY paint. I'll check your site for it. You do that. I hope it's on there. I just look for stencils too. Sandy says, I just looked, your crockery stencil is sold out. I'm sorry, Sandy. I can see if I can get another one. So send me a PM and I'll see if I can get another one. Okay. That is really distressy, isn't it? Now, I don't want the same thing on the other side. So we're going to do this side differently. So we're going to go back in with our walk on water. I'm going to add a little water to this. I'm going to go back our walk on water. Oh, might have too much there. And our mint chip. And we're going to smush those around. Might have went a little thick on this one. We'll just smear some on the bottom. Like, all you got to do is pull it off. If you don't, like, I would put it on the side of my bin, but during the live, it's a little hard to do that. So we're smushing that around. We're going to do something a little different on this side because I don't want that apothecary stencil on both sides. Okay, drag it back and smush it down. And I'm going to make a mistake here and try and drag it to the pansy flower so you can see what I do.
And you said, just look, your correctly stencil is sold out.
Yeah, that's what she said. Okay, so I got down to the pansy. So don't worry about that. You get down to the base, smoosh the paint back on there.
Lisa says, how thick the paint gets and or the water you use for lose the colors.
You never lose, yes. Well, I didn't read that until you read that, but yes, the colors are very, very vibrant. No matter how much you mix them with water, they're going to stay as vibrant as they are. Oh, Wilson was outside. All right, we got to add a little Old 57. Akron. Okay, we added a little Old 57 in there. Again, we went down to the pansy. So let me pull some up and smush it back down. And it's actually given me a little trouble right there. Not to worry, we'll get it. Keep smushing. I don't know, it's a Connie word. All right. Smushing. It actually looks like it's crackle paint cracking off of there. It looks good. Now I need some weathered wood on the top. Oh, me too. Oh, I just don't use it very often anymore, but it still is my favorite color. So we're gonna make that weathered wood at the top. Weather this tote a little bit.
It's snowing up here in Idaho.
Oh. We were supposed to get snow, but we didn't.
We get freezing rain, a little sleet, a little snow.
Yeah.
Really windy.
All right.
This since Sunday.
Okay. We smushed that all around, right, guys? I need a DIY. DIY. Okay. Now, I told you we were going to use the Cubana stamp. So what I want to do, I didn't think I was going to do this. I thought I was going to use ink, but I'm actually going to use some Old 57 paint. And I'm going to smear it on here. And then I'm going to smush this in it. And I made that texture. Now I'm going to smush some more in here. Remember, this is the thick paint. So I'm going to smush that on there. And then I'm going to take the stamp and I'm going to smush it in there. And it made some good texture. That's what I was looking for, is good texture. Take your paint blade. You can smear some of it around if you don't like the look of it. Just smear that down. Or if you feel like it's standing up too tall. Okay, so there's a nice grungy look to that. So I do want a little weathered wood down here on the bottom. And I'm going to mist that a little bit. And then I'm going to pull some of that up. Like that. Okay, that is original. That came through original right there. We're going to fix it. Yeah. We're going to fix that right there.
Lisa Horner says it looks like a Spanish tile on a building in Mexico.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, so some of these are the original finish there, and so I'm going to cover that up. I don't care that it's not making that that stamp texture, that Cubana texture, because I still have enough of that left. All right, so we have that one, which I'll finish on the other sides, and then this one over here. I better dry this. Let me dry this. We need to dry this side while we take a little DIY. And since it is a raised texture, when you go and you do a accent on it, you're going to bring out some of that texture after the finish. So if I missed some of your comments, I'm very, very sorry. I think Wilson is grabbing all of the comments that he can on Facebook. He's doing a really good job tonight. I'm too focused on painting tonight. This texture is crazy good. Crazy good. Okay, it's dry enough for me to set it on its face here. So we're coming back to this. What are we going to do on here? We're going to do a little crackle with some ink. Okay. All right, I think it's this way. All right, we're going to go in with some crackle. And just crackle a couple of little spots in there. So you just want to tickle it a little bit. And bring that crackle finish on. Oh, this is good, guys. So good. All right. Now, we're not going to finish that with the stamp. Look at this. Okay, I think we're at a good spot. Let me remove this camera and go full screen here. Look at that. Look at the texture in there. Now, when I clear wax that and give it a dark wax, it's going to even bring out more texture in it. And then there's the back side. This spot right here is a little bare, so I'll probably add some more Old 57 and then smush that Cubana stamp into there as well. But it has some good finish compared to just that. right? And I think this kind of goes. I might just put some weathered wood up here and age this a little bit, which it's going to match up pretty good.
Same because I love the vintage style.
Yes. Uh-huh. This one's pretty cool. That is very, very cool.
That's a nice handle.
It's a nice handle, Wilson. So I will finish that one off camera. Look at, I'm a mess tonight. I am a mess tonight. You love it, Dina? It looks so old. It does. It looks much better than the pansies that were on there. It really dresses up this tote. I've had it for a while.
Look at that handle.
Oh yeah, look at this handle.
That other handle.
That's what it started out looking like. Not good. Lori says, just came up from the basement due to tornado warning, still under watch. DIY. Lori, I'm so glad that you got to come out. DIY right back at you.
Stay safe.
Lisa said, or that was Lori, sorry. Lisa said, another great lives. Thanks, the painted photographer and Wilson. You're very, very welcome, Lisa. Thanks for watching. And Gert says, looks awesome. Okay, everybody. I used the Apothecary Roycycled stencil. I used the IOD paint blade. I used DIY paint. My hands are really dirty. I use the Cubana stamp that's on 25% off right now, and I think I only have 2. I know I only have 2 paint blades, 2 paint blade sets. So they come in a set of 2, a large one and a small one, and I only have 2 of those. The Apothecary stencil, the Crackle stencil, which now is vintage textures. So you get all 4 textures in one stamp, which is really good. I wish they would have had that first because I would love to have that stamp. Cindy said, love it so much. How many colors have you used at a time with this techniques? I counted 3 colors. Could you use more or would it take away from the look? I used weathered wood, sandy blonde, mint chip, walk on water, and old 57. So I used 5 colors, Cindy. I don't know how many more you want to use, but I used 5 colors. So I think you're going to be good. Just keep smushing them. Keep smushing them. If they go together, you're going to get that grungy look. And if it doesn't work, let it dry, start over. It's just paint. Gert says, I just ordered the paint blades. Plus, excellent, Gert. I'm glad to hear that. And April says, great look and technique. You're awesome. Thank you, April. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching Whiskey Wednesday. I hope that you learned how to use your paint blades that you might have. If you don't have them, you can get them from me. If Gert already ordered one, there might only be one. You don't want to out. Thanks for watching. I will be live on my, not live on my YouTube. I will have a YouTube video out next Monday, and I post a lot on Facebook, a lot of posts on Facebook, and I'm going to start to do a lot more reels. So make sure that you're watching. I do have an announcement. If you order from me, you get this little card as a thank you. Do not throw this away. Don't throw it away. You're going to start to learn about this color wheel in the near future. I have an art membership group that's coming out. I am going to teach you how to paint. And that'll be a membership group that's coming out on May 1st. This is April. I think next week I start to trickle out the I don't know what you call them, letting you know what's all going to be included in the painting class. So I'm going to teach you how to use this color wheel, and I'm going to teach you all about colors, all about painting, all kinds of things. So it's a membership group, And I hope that you'll join me in that. That'll come out next week. You must have missed a couple of colors, Cindy. Yep, you must have had a few DIYs. Sherry said, thanks, Connie. Y'all stay safe tonight. We will, Sherry. You as well. Gert says, yay. And Cindy says, teasers. Thank you. That's it. Teasers. Mary says, good night, Connie and Wilson. Thanks for another enjoyable and informational DIY. You're very, very welcome. All right, everyone. Until next time, happy painting.